Excellent. All right. Let's do it, guys. You know what? I don't like doing this, but I got to real quick just to make sure that we have a clean screen. So sorry for anybody watching. So terribly sorry. There we go. That's much better. I could tell right away. Okay, should have done it beforehand, but what are we gonna do? So, hi everybody. Welcome in. Sorry for the motion sickness. I'm Paint with Josh. Nice to meet you. I'm here to teach you how to do literally every single step painting on this canvas, which, as you can see, is dry. We've got our white section down here, up here. Got our black section down here, and we're gonna need a couple of our mediums to use. We're using the Bob Ross liquid clear or linseed oil will work on the bottom. You just need a very, very, very small amount. And then this is the Grumbacher's first coat liquid white. It's very much like the Bob Ross liquid white. And we're gonna use both of them today on our 2-inch brush. All you gotta have out there in the night, little 2-inch brush. Now, when we go into our clear, we don't need a whole lot, especially for this area. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go above our black area just a little bit, and that way we won't have to come down so closely with our liquid white to get it as wet as we want it to be. We'll have this little kind of buffer of wet area in there. And you can see just very quickly, very easily, and then we're gonna go and spread it across and make sure that it's all the way shred thin. We don't want it to be gunky, we want it to be very slippery, okay? Now, once we get out there, we're gonna wipe off all this excess clear stuff right here that we just put on. Literally scrub it hard, try to get some of that excess clear to come off. Perfect amount. Then we're gonna go into our liquid white. Now this stuff is the secret ingredient to how we paint and how the paint blends so well. Get a little bit of our liquid white on here. We're gonna crisscross across our little guy right there. And then just very gently, because it is kind of flippy if you have too much on there. Kind of spread it all over the canvas until we can start to crisscross and make our little X's and just spread it evenly across. That's our main goal. All right, I probably put way too much up here. I can feel it. It's just way too slippery. So guess what happens when you have too much on your canvas? I'm going to show you a little trick. We'll do the same thing as you might have put on too much too. You almost don't even want to feel it on there. And if we touch, it's close enough, but it could be a little bit less. It all depends on how you like it every time, right? So, we'll come back with our paper towels again. Come over here. Wipe off this liquid white stuff that we just put on. Because no matter what, we're still gonna have a wet surface. See that? So it's still wet. Perfect. Literally perfection. Okay, now, what we're gonna do here, we're going to dab off our brush or clean it off. You want it nice and dry. You don't want to have too much of that liquid white on there. Okay, once we get it all dried off on our paper towel, we're going to go into our ultramarine blue or your phthalo blue or Prussian blue. Doesn't matter, one of the dark transparent blue colors. And we're going to put it all down underneath this guy. All right, you can see where it's liquid white. On my brush, it's getting through there. We want it to be nice and dark. Here we go. There, right up along the edge, and it doesn't matter if we come across the top of this guy. This is why we're doing it this way, so that when we get to it, we can just start to blend our sky. Seriously, how much do you want to have your sky come all the way down your canvas? We're gonna take our blue and come up here. There, gorgeous. Now, it's only sliding so easily because the canvas is already wet, right? That's what you just saw me do, is put on all that wet stuff on there. Right? That helps our paint slide and blend so much easier than if it were not. If you have the wet paint on the dry canvas, boy oh boy, it's hard to make anything move. Let's take a little touch of our black. This is the Bob Ross black. Just a little bit. Throw some down there, it doesn't matter. Honestly, like, who cares where it goes? If you have too much or you keep dropping off too much because you grab too much onto your brush, dab it off on a paper towel. There, that's much better. Now we can push all this paint and let it blend in with that liquid white paint that's back there. Right, crisscrossing back and forth. And again, some of the times the brush is just too full of paint after loading up our sky that we just can't blend it very well. Throw a little bit more of our blue up in here too. Just to have just 50 different shades of blue out there, right? So let's go wash off our brush. Into the odorless mineral spirits, and then into the trash can, and then we're gonna beat it into the bucket. Like we always do, you guys. Over there, over here, over here. Now, you cannot wash oil paint brushes with water, so don't try to do that. Unless you're using water mixable oils, which in that case, did I get paint thinner in my eye? It's possible. It's possible. Anything is possible. anything. So let's get out here. Where would we start to blend if we were going to start blending out our sky? Would we go for the darkest parts of our sky first or the lightest part? What do you think? Type it in the comments now. Let's just see out there. Man, this one's looking good so far, you guys. Looking good so far. Yeah, people think that I sound like Bill Hader or Ryan Reynolds or the Joker. I get those all the time. We're gonna come into our lightest portion of our sky. We're gonna start to crisscross back and forth. And because the paints are wet, they're going to slide back and forth across our sky. That light will extend out and vice versa. We can drag the dark into that light area and just blend it, right? We're just mixing it back and forth until it looks however we want it to look out there in the night. You guys, that's all you gotta do, right? Get out there and just start pushing it around until it all blends together. Now, the more that you mix it, the more it's all going to become the same blue or the same gray or whatever. So you have the ability to kind of step back and look at it and go, you know what, that's a really cool looking sky out there, and then stop or move on or whatever. It doesn't even matter. All this stuff down here at the bottom doesn't even matter. We're only really looking at that part of our sky to be blended, okay? Now, let's come up in here and let's throw in some of our white clouds. And yes, you have to add the, the emphasis on the H if you're gonna get out there and say white when we're doing our paintings, right? Now, we'll take our white paint, we'll come out here along that white area where we have that lighter color, and then we've got our darker color underneath, and we'll just start pushing and mushing and whatever. It honestly doesn't matter. Seriously. Bang, right up into the sky, right? Fill in an area underneath where we can grab some paint. If it's too thin, our brush will make it disappear right away. So let's give it about an inch to grab, right? Take a little bit of our clouds out there, mush them down, whatever, doesn't even matter, because you can come up here and take your brush and literally blend them all away if you didn't like what they look like. Go very light pressure along the top into harder pressure, pushing more and more and more into the canvas as you get under those clouds so that they will blend away with our sky, right? The more that you blend them and push them, the more they will disappear and blend away. Even make the tops of them very soft if you really want them to look far away, right? All things are possible, my friends. What if we had just a little floater out there, just taking up a little section of our sky? Just why not? Because it doesn't matter. I could blend it away if I didn't like it. Look at that, just a little bit of depth and distance out there. Throw them out there. These really cool little things happen, guys, all the time, seriously. And then you don't even need to worry about them, right? We'll come in here, we're gonna take 1 part black paint, we're gonna take 2 parts crimson paint, so double the pile. We're gonna take 2 parts blue paint, and then we're gonna mix this guy up into a color that we call what? Does anybody know what we call this mixture of color? It's very famous. It's a very famous mix of color here. Did you guys know we reached 1 million followers over on Instagram, by the way, just yesterday? My goodness, we're already up to 1,001,000 now, so it's crazy. Just growing like a weed over there. It's nuts. Man, do we know? Purple, that's close. We call it Paint with Josh Black because it's a purple mix. You get blue and red, right? Make our blue and crimson are gonna make our purple. And then we're gonna darken it down to black because we got a little bit of black mix in our purple. Can you tell I didn't go to art school? It's insane, especially for how many followers we have. Insane. Now, we're gonna flip the old palette tool. We're gonna come down here, hold it like this, right? So the flat edge is out there. Scrape down on some of our paint. If you're left-handed, you're gonna be holding it this way in your opposite hand, so you can load it that way. We're going to be loading it this way. Scrape up just a little bit of that darkness, you get that chunk of paint out on the end, and then let's go decide what we want these little mountains to look like. How big, how dark, how much do they come down, how much do they come up, right? The only thing we're worried about is picking up this excess paint that's underneath. Watch how much we can get off of this thing. Almost the whole roll is back onto our blade, so we can get up here and extend it out into the day. Wherever, right? Pulling it down, just literally trying to wipe it off and get it onto the canvas. Because that's just enough paint to come up here with your big, even with your big old 2-inch brush. Grab it, spin it down. All right, come over here. All about the pressure. Pull it on this side, down, 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 meeting it against that ridge. So we've now created this 3D looking thing just from 3 swipes, right? One, well, a couple over here, but we had to drag that paint. Come on. Now, this guy, he's an enigma back here. What do we do with our little friend back here, right? We can either swipe him down this way and have all those things fading that way, Or you can come up here, grab them along the edge and go down through, and now we've created a new little ridge, right? Pulling up against this side, dragging it out. And I've got two little different things happening inside there. Now, that's just a guideline on what we want to do. Do we want to make it, do we want to follow along and have it look like that? Or do we want to go a different way? We can decide that when we come up here with our highlights, right? So, we're going to grab a chunk of white, a good chunk of white over here, okay? One little teeny tiny, we gotta come way up here for it, there we go. Little teeny tiny bit of blue. We're gonna mix it up into a blue sky color, like just a bright spring blue sky day. That's even just a bit too bright, there we go. We don't want it to be too bright white, otherwise it will clash with our white highlights on our mountain. And we don't want it to be too dark blue, because then it's gonna look funky being that far away, okay? We wiped off our blade, we're gonna come over here, take the same amount of white that we just got, take one little scrape, maybe two little scrapes of that very, very, very fine blue color that we have down there. And let's mix this guy up into a much, much, much brighter version of this blue that we had created, right? We don't want to come back up here and grab this, otherwise we're going to make the same color. We just want to make a very bright, bright, bright version of that guy. And then we'll have our snow shadows and our snow highlights, right? Come up here, I like doing the shadows first. So let's decide on our sky. We had all that black color in our sky over here. All of our darkness is over here, right? So let's say our shadows are this side and all of our light is casting down onto our mountain. Meaning we're gonna grab some of our blue, come down this way, kind of attach it, just let it float off, right? We're just floating down the mountainside. We're not pushing very hard, just literally trying to let the paint roll that's on the end, just like a paper towel roll. Imagine if you took a paper towel roll and you just scratched it across like some sandpaper. Some of those bits would get stuck to the sandpaper, right? That's all we're really doing, just trying to leave a couple little paper towel roll bits stuck to our sandpaper out there. Literally, right? We'll come up here like this, slide it down along that ridge, right? Getting flatter and flatter and flatter. See how we're pulling this way? It's literally flat versus this guy was on an angle down. This one is flat across. The more you get down to the bottom of your mountains, the more you have to flatten it out. Coming down this way, making it flatter. You can have it as thick, you can go up and scrape it, you can dump it in different places, you can do whatever you want to do, you guys. Okay, now, let's come out here, scoop up some of our snowy white, which is a mix of this very, very light blue. All right, come off of this guy, just touch it, let it float down. We are not pushing on it hard, we're not even touching the blade, right? We're just literally letting it float just down and down and down. Maybe we come over a little bit more horizontally on this guy. And again, those strokes are very flat down here at the base of the mountain to help flatten things out, okay? Very cool. Come wipe off your blade, come back, get a little bit more. We could even come up into this one, or we could come down with our shadows. We could do whatever we wanted to do. Okay? We could get it a little closer, just like that. Slide it out underneath. Oh, it's fantastic, you guys. Remember, this is all I do for a living, so if you want to support me, you can get over there to my site, grab this painting or any one of our originals. We just launched new prints of our seascape painting from last night, which came out amazing. And all sorts of stuff. We have virtual classes, we can do one-on-one things, different sorts of stuff. It's very lightly dropping off some of that light color. But you gotta go find it over on my site, which you all know where to go. Very, very cool. Oh, you guys. That one's looking neat. If we came down this guy, we just let him kind of intermix in, right? Came across it with our white again. Now we got a much nicer blend right there, a little shadowy area. A little thing in the night. I never like it to just be a perfect straight line either. So let's go across our little mountain. Fabulous. Oh, guys, look at it. Quite literally, how much better do you want it to be? Come up underneath this guy with a bit of our shadows, just to change up our lines just a little. There we go, guys. I'm liking it. Just have it not be this perfectly straight thing. Perfectly straight things are just weird in a landscape, so don't have it be just a straight line, okay? You can always go back up, cut over or cut into your highlights wherever you don't want them to be, and take them away. Very cool. Now, let's get over here with our big old 2H brush. All right, we're going to swipe up in the direction that we came down in, the opposite direction, right? So if we had a double-sided tool like this, get your mind out of the gutter, we're going to take it, if we came down this way, we would go up this way. If we came down this way, we would go up this way. If we came down, you know what I mean? So however you went, go the opposite way, very lightly, very flat to the canvas, okay? That way, you can judge your pressure a lot more and you can be a lot more soft. Versus out here, we can't judge how close or how much we're pushing into the canvas being so far away. If we're in here nice and close, you can judge and be very, very gentle, taking away some of those details, not everything, but some of those little details, just softening them just a little bit, just by disturbing the paint is all we're really doing. Right now, all you guys have to do out there is just tell me where you're watching from in the world. Where are you guys from out there? Let me know. Let me know where you're from. You guys. Oh, Only Lip Syncs. London's here. You guys. Remember, be sure to follow Only Lip Sync. She's got awesome stuff. She does these lip sync videos and stuff, and very, very on point. I try to do lip sync stuff, and I can't even lip sync to my own parody songs. I tried it. You guys have seen it. If you haven't seen my new parody song video, go check it out. It's over on my TikTok. I think that's about the only place it is over on my TikTok page. But go check that thing out, because I can't even lip sync to my own lyrics that I know, that I made up in my head. And I can't even do it. Let's tap this guy out just a little bit. So she's got some really good stuff. Go give her a follow over there. Tap, 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 tap. All we're doing is making that misty area at the bottom. Oh no, what happened, Josh? Check this out. Make it go away. That's the best part about these oil paints. They will literally disappear before your eyes. I'm telling you, it's just fantastic. Now, we've got all this light color in here that we need to project some darkness up into, right? So in order to do that, we're going to need to make some more of our Paint with Josh plaque mix, right? We've got a giant pile. Actually, that might be just enough. We might not need to make any more. I'm going to switch to the Paint with Josh fan brush number 8, the bigger one. You can find these in the Paint with Josh brush kit that are available on my site, and you know where to go if that's where you want to go. Now, let's take this right here, very sharp, very small amount of paint, and that's so sharp. Right? Very tight in there. What we're going to do is, let's go down. Yeah, okay. I had an idea before, but now the way that mountain's looking, I'm going to change my idea. So let's come down this way with our trees first. Yes, and then we'll have a little bit, and then we can, yeah, okay, I got you. I got you, Josh. I'm literally making it up as we go. If you don't know that, we literally make it up as we go, showing you can literally do anything if you have the technique down. You got the right tools, you got the know-how, right? You can literally do anything, making the brush very sharp again every time we come back up here, so you keep those nice sharp little tip tops. That's the best part about the Paint with Josh brushes, is you keep those very sharp little tipper toppers up there in the tip tops of your forest, making them look like actual trees, right? A lot of times if you have too much paint on a brush, or the brush starts to fatten out too soon, then you lose those very sharp tip tops. Now, it may not look like a forest just yet, but give me a second to fill in this area, all right? Not going up and hitting my snow, because that's very thick paint. That's why we make that softer area down here, so we can then make our next little level, our little layers, right? Always with the layers. And we can go up all the way up here if we wanted to. Fill in some of that area, knowing that the paint is going to grow downwards by the time that we start our next step. It's going to move, so you have to leave some space for it to get down there, okay? You can even come up a little higher on this side too. It doesn't matter, seriously. You don't even have to go all the way over, and I'll show you by the time we get there that we don't have to go all the way over. Let's take our 2-inch brush. We're gonna come in here, a little bit of pressure, pull it away once you get to the top. This will fill in a lot of those gaps down around the bottom, right? Filling in a lot of those spaces, making little sharper little tip tops on some of our trees, because it's dragging that paint upward. And now, because I don't want to go down too far, okay? I don't want to do the vertical taps, because those are going to get me way the heck down here. So why don't we do some horizontal tappies, right? All we're doing is tapping into the paint, and as you can see, all it's doing is mixing that dark paint with the white paint that's underneath. Remember, this white paint is still wet down there, right? So each time that we mix it in or tap it, the bristles are massaging the paint into that white paint that's over there. Now, by the time I get over here, I can turn my brush vertically and get up to this extra space. But the less room that you have, right, the more your paint's gonna wanna come down into our dark area, which we don't want. We wanna keep it nice and dark. Now, let's say yours is very dark because you have too much black in your plaque mix. That's okay. We're gonna come in with a bit of white onto the fan brush, right? Same white that we made creating our clouds. I haven't even added any extra. There's the blue sky from the clouds, okay? So we don't need much paint. Let's just add a little bit of stuff up into our trees. Just like that, literally. What do you want it to look like? If you have too much paint, guess what? It's gonna grow way too far. So if we come in here and we just mix it up lightly, not trying to let it extend too far down into that black area, but enough to cover, there, gorgeous. Now we got this little cloud out there of mist kind of floating underneath our trees, right? Then you can decide, Josh, should we just do the whole painting with a 2-inch brush for goodness sake? I haven't even taken the 1 inch out yet. Then we can decide, I know I want to have a river back here, and I know I want to have some land, some here and some there, so we can have this little thing coming over, and then we're going to waterfall over. It's going to look very cool. Very cool. Okay, so what we want to do first, let's throw our water in, just so we have an idea on where that water might be. I'm going to take a little bit of my liquid white, little touch of my titanium white, just a small little bit. We're going to come back in here, and let's just start from way back there, scraping in a little thing, just a little old thing. And watch, I'll show you. It doesn't even matter what it looks like. You could literally leave it just like this, and have it be nice and rough and crazy looking. See, that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave it just like that. Let's come down here. And actually, here's a cool way I found. Have you ever been trying to brush your snow down to your water and your brush just gets too far in there? What if we grabbed our white snow? Right? Pulled out our just pure titanium white. Okay, we're going to come down here. We're going to decide where the edge of our land is and where it's going to come down and meet the water. Okay, so we're going to have a little separation of darkness in between where the land and the water meet. We're going to deposit, if we can, some of the paint back behind this guy. Okay, it's already looking like a hill. Then you can come up here, and even with your big old 2-inch brush, grab that paint and slide it back up into the forest. Now we've got a bit of brightness. We didn't have to come down too far because we're going the opposite direction, pulling it backwards, right? Now, it looks like we may be missing a small spot of something way out there. So let's just add a little bit extra. Okay, go back with even the big old 2-inch and just the corner of that guy. You can grab it, pull it, slide it, and get this little thing happening out there. Very cool, guys. Now, let's go back to that color in here. We're just gonna get a little closer, about right there is where I'm thinking. We're at the base, right there, right? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our fan. You can use a palette tool to go over and rotate and fall down on our little, but we're gonna do it with a fan brush. It's a lot easier for everybody to do that way. As long as we can keep everything nice and straight and looking fantastic, we're all gonna have a good time. You know what happens when you pizza when you're supposed to French fry? You're gonna have a bad time. Exactly. Okay, man, this one's looking really cool, guys. I hope you guys are liking it. Can I have this one? Well, you can get it. I'm not sure if it's still available. Somebody might have already gotten it. Let's see. Bob Ross vibes. Thank you, Kozar B. Lots of people watching over on the tube again tonight, which is excellent, guys. Tons of people over on TikTok, too. You guys are awesome. And as always, the Facebook crew. You guys are amazing, too. Now, if we add any other little bits of brightness in here, they may look like small little details or whatever. All I wanted to do was get that off of my blade so I can take this guy and slide it back. Perfect. Perfection, you guys, right? Literally, grab it, slide it away. You can hold it upside down if you need to. Now, let's come back in here. We need to fix our where our land is gonna sit, right? We're gonna have a couple trees out here. Come down right about to the edge. We'll probably have some bushes right here anyway, so let's forget about this whole side. Literally, let's forget about the entire side right there. Just scraping it, making it a mess, having different things happen out there, okay? Now, let's go back to our big old fan brush where we did our clouds. Have not washed it yet. It's got a little bit of color on it from rubbing it up into those trees, but that's okay. It's not a lot. I wiped it off on a paper towel. It's fine, right? Scoop up a lot of white paint. We're talking about enough to where we made our trees in the background, right? Enough to hold all the bristles together. Very sharp, very crazy. Let's decide. We don't need an enormous waterfall right here, but what if we had our water? We're just gonna touch, go over to the edge, fall down, right? Over the edge, fall down. How much do you want it to overflow? It's all up to you, right? We're in control of what's going on out there, how dark it is, how bright it is. It's all up to us. If you want it to be brighter, you gotta go back and get more paint, touch it softer, right? Even after one time, it's gonna go blue, so let's come back over here, grab more paint, touch it softer so it stays bright, right? Grab these little guys, drag them back just literally straight, very little bit, right? It's supposed to make it look like it's getting tumultuous right there. It's one of my favorite words to say. Tumultuous and crazy before it falls over the edge. That way it can look different back here, being further away, less details. All the good stuff, guys. Now, let's mix up some more of that plaque mix, because I mean, we got enough to maybe do one tree right here, but that's about it. So we're gonna grab 1 part black, 2 parts crimson, 2 parts blue. You gotta make the, when you, when you pop it down in there. We're gonna mix all that up with the existing plaque mix that we had already created. Okay? It's all the same mix of 3 different colors, 2 parts crimson, 2 parts blue, 1 part black, doesn't matter how big the pile, that's the mixture, okay? Come in here like this, scrape up all this nonsense, and, oh, it's just gonna be so pretty. Just literally so pretty. Let's go grab our fan brush again. Again, same fan brush, haven't washed it. You'll find that I'm a very lazy painter, and I like to do things in an order to where we don't need to wash the brush 10 million times. Even though it's fun, we don't need to do it 10 million times per show, right? Now, let's get down here. Yeah, let's launch in these trees. We could cut that guy off. We could add more river. We could do so many things out here. We could just let it fall off into nothing, honestly. Depends on what you want to do. But let's get out here. We need to fill up this back area at least out to about here, right? So we're filling up about 2 inches of space, meaning let's do a taller tree right here. However far you want them to be. Now, why does this tree stand out as being closer than the back trees in the distance, even though it's the same color, right? Can't say it's a darker color because it's exactly the same color. So what about it makes it stand out as being closer than those trees in the background? What do you think? You just tell me what you think. Remember, the little pine trees, they never have to just be perfectly symmetrical across the whole thing. You don't have to do anything. You can have a big crazy branch out one way and not have anything out the other way. It's all in how we're gonna highlight it, so don't worry about it. But what makes this guy stand out? He's taller than those trees in the background. His butt sits closer, sits further down, making him closer than anything else. You guys, let's take one more little bit. You gotta come out one more thing. Don't go too high up into that mountain because it'll be crazy hard to keep your paint to stick on here, right? It's very difficult to allow that much paint to stick on top of that much paint. I'm trying to stay out of your guys' way as much as we can. There, we dark out that area back there, okay? We'll go grab our little bushy brush, and at this point, we may actually want to add some bits of mist down here. So we'll just take our little guy, just like that, a little bit of our white paint, back to our 2-inch. We're gonna spread it and get it up that way, okay? Up and out, and let it get darker. That way we can launch over some branches and different little bits of bushes and stuff that hang over it. So you're pushing it harder to extend it further away. Oh, that's cool. Now let's come back in. We'll grab our big old bushy brush, go into that dark mix, right up into the fat pile, the part of the paint that's just enormously heavy. Come out here and start launching on, right up there. See the river flowing back through it. You can see our little danglers coming down into the mist. How many little danglers does your trees or bushes have? It's all up to you, all right? You change the whole bottom of that tree into 2 more bushes just by adding that dark color down there and letting it flow over the side. Right? Very cool. We've still got some of this dark mix, so let's take some of this guy. Now, how are we going to, you can't just put your bush back here, right? That's not gonna look right. It's gonna look funky. You gotta come up and project it into the waterfall a little bit. Get those couple little danglers hanging out, which makes it look like the water has cut through these little bushes. Pop, 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 pop. How many do you wanna have? Totally up to you, doesn't matter to me. Totally up to you guys. Now, here's the question. Do we put in one of those big old mega paint with Josh trees that go from top to bottom, right here with the big old branches sticking out, covering some of our sky? Or what? we could put in a fallen tree, like falling down from this side into that side, but I feel like there has to be something here. So why am I even asking you guys? That's just what we're gonna do. It's just what we're gonna do. Right? Gorgeous. Like those things popping up into the snow, it's fantastic, guys. Just adds depth and distance for miles. Just miles. No big tree, they say. I don't know. Do you know me? I gotta have a big tree. I just gotta. I just gotta do it. Little house, we could have done that way back there, guys. That would have been way back in the distance before we added all these little guys in the front. So now it's very hard to go back and get anything to happen back there, right? Plus, ain't nobody gonna be living out there anyway. They're gonna be living on this side looking at the waterfall. Now, since we've got this big old jumbled pile of bushes over here, we don't have enough paint to do the big tree just yet, but if we mix up a little bit more, and just trust me, okay? If you're like, oh my God, like this is gonna be, what's he gonna do? It doesn't need it, this, that, and the other. This painting is number 1,197 for me. That's, excuse me, 1,997. It's 3 away from 2,000 paintings. And let me tell you, you do need something big right here. It just has to happen. It has to be there. So here's what we're gonna do, okay? Oh, it's gonna be crazy. Here we go. Literally 30 minutes, guys. We've done this whole painting in 30 minutes. We're gonna load up on the paint. We wanna miss this stuff. You don't wanna hit that, guys. We wanna be right here, maybe 3 fingers deep, right there, okay? So we're gonna go right through. Let's turn it vertically so we can make a nice line down. There we go. Right into there, okay? Gorgeous. Dude, we could leave it that thin and call it good for real, or we can just go mad crazy and extend it. Now we got the brush flat. There we go. Really cranking on that paint, making it nice and dark. Big old monster of a tree. Now let's take out the last bit of the paint that we just had over here. Since we're not gonna need anything else down here yet. We're filling his bottoms, have him dangle over. Right? Filling it in more down here than anywhere else because it's gotta be big and thick enough to hold on to that big old tree, right? We could even cut in if we wanted to. Really cut in like a bit of rock projecting down like we did on one of our other paintings. It was really cool. So let's get some of our odorless mineral spirits out of our cleaner bucket and onto our palette. Just enough to make our paint wet, like watercolor. Just want it very wet. Come out here, right underneath this guy, bang, right there. Pop it out into the day. We're not gonna see a whole lot of this guy. If anything, that's about all we're gonna see because we're gonna fill it all with branches and bushes and all sorts of stuff. Same thing for this little branchy little guy, right? We're not gonna see the majority of it because he's gonna be holding up all these things. And by the time we get across, we won't see any branches up there. So let's toss in just one little thing out there, just kind of hanging out. Now, we need to mix up one more little pile, and then we're gonna go back, we're gonna highlight everything all at once. Okay, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Throw it down, get it all dark and wild and crazy, boy. Scrape up all that wetness. We don't need all that wetness when we're in here. We're trying to stay thick and just intensely dense with the paint, okay? Come out here with that big old bushy brush and don't get mad at me. Promise you won't leave when you come out here and just watch me go mental across this thing. You gotta have it be big enough and crazy enough and wild enough for it to look like an untrimmed, bushy little tree out there. Remember, we're not out here painting Buckingham Palace. We gotta get nuts with these little guys. Get out there, make them get big, make them cover stuff. Cover it, cover it, cover it all, man. I'm telling you. Makes it like we're sat down underneath this little guy, right? He's out there in the day, and we may even have just enough paint to get away with one more little bushy little plot right there. Going up on an angle too. Never make them all just flat across the bottom. Now, let's get in here and get back to our highlights, my friends. Let's grab the Paint with Josh brush, the small guy, a little small Paint with Josh. I think it's the number 4. We're gonna take our liquid white. We're gonna go into our ultramarine blue or your phthalo blue or your Prussian blue. It doesn't matter what it is. Literally doesn't matter. Each one of these, see how this blue is a darker blue because we went straight into that pile and mixed it here versus creating our own pile. That means this blue will stand out as being closer to us. Let's come off of here. Let's tap on. Try to keep my big old arm out of everybody's way. All right, come out here and just start smacking on little bits with our brush kind of angled. Tapping on little bits of our tree, right? We don't need anything to be too overly covered or too dark or too bright or whatever. Right? Come off of this little guy. Again, tapping on just the left side. As we smack our brush against the tree, it starts getting darker and darker and darker. So we have to hit it harder and harder and harder in order to leave a little blue section back there. And again, it doesn't have to be too bright. If you get it too bright, go back with your dark color, that dark mixture. Come back in, dull it down again until it's a darker color. Go back over it again, 1 or 2 more little taps ought to do it right there. Right? We're not trying to cover up everything, remember. Now let's get off all that blue paint. We'll go back into our liquid white and then back into our titanium white. Since this is a winter scene, I'm about to blow your mind with just how easily 3 little colors can look like a tree, right? So we got our liquid white there, mixing it with our titanium white, grab a little liquid white, little titanium white, back and forth, dabbing it in until it's kind of soppy like that, okay? Then we'll come out here. This guy back here, he's hiding behind his little friend. So what we're gonna do is just tap on just a couple little pieces, just let it kind of fade away, right? Literally, white, blue, black, makes a tree out there in the night. Now we'll come over here, we're gonna tap onto this little guy. And we're gonna start tapping little bits, little plops, little dabs, little things of white paint, almost in little U-shaped patterns, right? So we're kind of tapping underneath, go down, it's darker and darker and darker, and all of a sudden, we've made this little tree shape, right? You can come over into your shadows just a little bit at a weird spot, you know, and it doesn't have to be just a perfectly straight line. Right there, a couple little things. Makes it look a lot more 3D, and if they're too bright, just tap them over again. And you have these really cool little trees out there. Just some white, and some black, and some blue. Some black, anyway. They're gorgeous. Now, let's work on our little bushes, and then we'll work on our bigger bushes, and then we'll be all set, guys. So you're gonna have to start coming up with a title for this painting, and what you might wanna call it, and you gotta let us know now what that title might be. And I go back in with the Bob Ross oval into my blue, right into the heaviest part of the pile, okay, off the back sides of these guys, so just tapping very lightly, getting some of that blue to deposit on, knowing we'll have a big bright side here, so what if we had a darker bluey side back here, tapping on little bits, little things, little shapes, doesn't matter, honestly, seriously, doesn't matter, right there, little bit, okay? Now, wipe that stuff off, clean it off of our brush, let's go back and get some more of our white. And we'll show you just how easy it is, guys. How easy it can be. Just to trick your little brains with the liquid white and the titanium white. Get a little bit of that texture on there so we have these guys looking like little flowery bits of stuff. Getting hit by that light of the day. In the day. Right there. Yeah, a couple little bits on the side. Very cool. Same thing on this guy. Little taps, turning the brush so it's not all the same every time. You can almost turn that brush in a 360, seriously. Wherever we want it to be. Light up those little bushes down there. Fabulous. Now, we need a little bit more of our liquid white, and I think it's all empty from my jar over here. So, we may get away with just this amount. A little bit of our bluish color onto our little bushy tree bits, and it's very similar to our bushes down here. We're not trying to cover everything. We don't need to see every single bit. So we're leaving some spaces of that blue and different things in there. All right, gorgeous. Okay, let's go back. We do need to get some liquid white this time, because there's no more in the Petri dish, guys. Now remember, you can go grab this painting if you go to paintwithjosh.com. That's my site. Head over there, find it. It's the very first thing that you're going to see right on the home page, so it's very easy to find. It is number 1997, and I need your guys' help in coming up with a title for it. Can you help me title it? How does he do it? You guys are awesome. Plus, we have tutorials over on the tube you can check out at any time. Nature Undisturbed. I like that for a title. That's a cool title, guys. The fairest of them all. Let's get out here with our liquid white. I gotta clean off this brush one more time. And then we can do our highlights on our tree, and then we'll add our bark. The tree bark is one of the best things, one of my favorite things to do, and one of the coolest looking things that you'll ever see. So I hope that you stick around just to see this tree bark. It's really cool. We're gonna take our liquid white and our titanium white again, okay? Let's cover over a bit more of that guy. There, just a bit, there. Fabulous, right? Come up here. Tap on, again, not trying to cover every piece of darkness, not trying to cover every piece of blue, just kind of let them fade away into themselves, okay? Out here, tapping it on, little bits, little bits, little bits, little bits. It's never gonna go all the way across. You can even go tap on little light areas and make them dark areas again, guys. Almost forgot about our little guy down here. You little booger down here, you almost got forgotten about. There we go. Tappy tap tappies, right? We're in control. How bright it gets, how dark it gets, how far the light goes across, or vice versa, how far our shadows go back. Whichever way we want to do. Now, let's get in here. We're gonna take our blue, which I need to get some more of, and our white, and we're going to be making the trunk of our tree, which is the coolest part, if you ask me. Quite honestly, the coolest thing that we can do. And it really makes this tree look very up close and personable. It adds some bits of darkness back into this guy. See how it gets a bit too bright? You can literally kind of go back in there and make it a bit darker just by tapping on with that dirty fan brush back there. Kind of feeding the little colors back. How far out do you want them to go? All up to us, right? We're in control. Now, let's take our blue. We're gonna mix in a whole bunch of this blue with this bit of blue down here, so it's very, very bluey. There we go. Gorgeous. A little bit of our white from down there as well. Mix that guy in. A little bit of white from over here. There's my color. It's the darkest blue that we've had so far, but it's not its pure dark blue self. All right, mix all that white down into there. Gorgeous. Now what we're gonna do is scoop up an enormous amount of this stuff and just start tapping it against the back of our tree. And go from about the left side to the right side, about 60% over, just tapping, 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 right? And we're gonna leave this very cool looking little tree barky stuff onto our trees, okay? So come down here, tap it, and then let it extend out, pick it up again, extend it out again. Leaving little shadows, leaving little spaces of darkness. We don't need everything to be all filled up all the way. There, perfect, right? Now we'll come across this guy. A little bit of our titanium white and that liquid white that we've had already in this pile over here. There's not a whole lot of liquid white. If anything, it's like a 70-30 mix. But you want the thicker stuff on there to be that texture, right? And if you're touching, it's like this, touching, 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 right? Each one of those four is a different amount of paint, and it's in a different place because I'm not a robot and I can't touch it perfectly, right? That means I'm gonna come grab where it's a little heavier, tap it down, tap it back towards the blue, pick it up again, work it back this way, right? Allowing it to get gluier as we go back that way. That's literally it. We're gonna come over here, tap it along the edge, work it back about just over half. There, isn't that just fantastic, you guys? Quite honestly, fantastic. Tell me it's not. Woo! Okay, now you guys gotta come up with a title for it. We are all set and done a-rooski. I like that one. That is very, very cool. If anything, because this guy is so large and noticeable, why don't we get a bit of white there, just to kind of cover over some parts of his own self, so it's not just all that plaque mix. Fabulous, you guys. I told you that one little bit was gonna be the only branch that we would see coming out of there. These things are full. Okay, so you guys start coming up with a title. I gotta wash these brushes off. And then we'll pick a title. Remember, if you purchase it during the show, you get to come up with the title forever. It becomes your painting, and you get to tell us what to name it. So, incentive for you to get over there and check it out. I'm gonna wash these brushes off. You guys keep typing in those titles. And then we'll see how many cool titles we can get by the end. Plus, if you do purchase it, you'll have lots of titles to choose from, because everybody loves putting their own title spin on it. What would you call this painting? Tell me now, what would you call it? That's all you gotta say. I would call it this, Josh. And then give us a title. What's it gonna be? Man, that's gorgeous. Gorgeous. There we go. Wash that guy again. Anytime we do the big bushy trees like that, we gotta wash off the paint with Josh. Bush brush twice. It just holds so much paint inside there. So you guys come up with a title. Like I said, if you like it enough, go over there and grab it. It can be yours, and we'll send it right out to you as soon as it's dry. Which only takes about 5 days. Okay, that. Just got 2 more, guys. 2 more to go. 2 brushes left, so we're gonna need titles from all of you fans out there. All you fans and followers, new and old. Title it up for us. What are we gonna name it? In under 45 minutes we did this little guy. You guys got time. I'm telling you, you can do it. Stop putting it off. You can do it. I know you can. I'm here to help you figure it out. Get it done, right? Get the right supplies, and let's go have some fun out there. It's a lot of fun, as you can see. Let's come out with our little 3-bird fam and just go caw, flying through the night. Man, love this painting already, you guys. So, let me know what you want to call it, and I'm going to come back as soon as I sign it. We'll come back there and read the titles, so type them out again. If you've already typed it out and I haven't seen it, type it out again. There we go. Whoop! Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Type it out now, guys. There. Excellent. Excellent. Super talented. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Almost as cold as my ex. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. That is funny. And that is a good title, guys. Literally Diamond Morning. That's a cool title, too. Oh, it's so pretty in there. Frosty Forest. Winter is coming. I like that. I like that. The Dream. I like that one, too. That is cool. Dusty Falls. God's Majestic Wonder. Mystical Mountains. Just peaceful. I like that. Twin White Peaks. Splendor in the Snow. You guys are awesome with your titling over there, I'm telling you. Just honestly. A Winter Day Through an Artist's Eyes. I like that one too. Great title. Blue Steel, I dig. That's funny. I'm a new fan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. This is beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. The Falls at Twin Peaks. That's a cool title right there. Secrets. That's just another cool title. Like this place has secrets out here, apparently. That's cool. 50 Shades of Grey. I like that too. I like that. There are some different grays and such all throughout the painting. So let me finish cleaning up this thing. We're gonna get the palette all wiped down, and if it still hasn't been purchased until then I'm gonna pick a title from your guys' suggestions. So hit me with those suggestions. That's a hard word to shorten. Suggests. Just doesn't work. So hit me with your suggestions on what you think you want to call this painting, and then I'll come pick one. Pick one now. Wiping up all this nastiness so we can do another awesome little Oregon seascapey coastal thing in the next show. That's what I want to do next anyway. There we go. Okay. Perfection. Yes! All right. So, the Dream I like. I like that. I like it. Frosty Forest. I dig that. Serene Snow. Which one was the Falls at Twin Peaks? I can't remember who did that. Frostbitten is cool. Winter Spectacle. That's a cool one. It's a spectacle. It's like it needs eyes to see. Needs help seeing with his spectacles. It's a different spelling. It's probably a different spelling. I know. I got it. Just wanted to be the Monopoly man. My little spectacle. Pine Valley in White. I like that. Boom, ba boom. Snowbird. That's a cool one. That's a cool title, actually. Snowbird. The Falls at Twin Peaks. That was a cool one, too. I did like that. But let's go with little Anne Murray, and we'll go with Snowbird over here. I like that. I'm digging it. Okay. Very cool title, guys. This one came out amazingly, and I can't wait to see your guys' versions of this painting. Okay. All you need is a little bit of that black gesso along the bottom, just the very bottom, and then our whole white canvas on the top. Then we had our liquid clear on the bottom in the black area, and then our liquid white on the top. This one's number 1997. Dudes, that means we'll do 1998 in about an hour. When we come back, we'll do 1998 over on TikTok. And then tomorrow, I have a class in the day. That's going to be 1999. So the very first show on Saturday, the YouTube show, will be my big 36 by 36 inch 2000th painting And I'm gonna do that Oregon seascape again. I'm gonna do that one that we did the other night. I've done it 3 times. I'll probably do it once more before I do that one. So that'll be like the 5th time that we've done it. And hopefully that one comes out the best out of all of them. And the biggest, the most, the grandest of all. So that's the hope anyway. But I do love you guys over on Facebook and on the tube. What do we call this one again? I put the pin down and didn't title the dang thing. That was a snowbird, I remember. Snowbird. Perfect. Boom, boom. This one was painted on 8/15/2025. We're all gonna go to paintwithjosh.com because it's the best place of all time. You guys are fabulous. I can't wait to see your versions, everybody over on YouTube and on Facebook. You guys have been amazing. Thank you all for being here. We're gonna hang out on TikTok for just a few minutes longer as soon as we end your streams. So if you want to continue to come over and watch, we're over there on TikTok.com/@paintwithjoshk. Go find us over there. And seriously, I can't wait to see your guys' versions. So send them in to me on Facebook or on Instagram @officialpaintwithjosh on the book, @paintwithjoshk over on Instagram. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. Blah, blah.